Cowboys Nation, welcome back to the channel. We know it's been a tough season, but this team is all about progress and pushing forward to better days, whether it's reworking the roster, stepping up in games, or planning for the future. The Dallas Cowboys are always looking for ways to improve and get back to winning ways. Before we dive into today's hot topic, the signing of Will Greer to the active roster, take a moment to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us keep the content coming, so let's keep growing this amazing community of Cowboys fans. This week, the Cowboys announced that quarterback Will Greer has been signed to the active roster, joining Cooper Rush and Trey Lance in Dallas's quarterback room. Greer has had a winding journey in the NFL since being drafted in the third round in 2019 by the Carolina Panthers. Most of his career has been spent on practice squads with stops in New England, Los Angeles, Chargers, Cincinnati, and Philadelphia. His last official in-game action came back in 2019, where he started 2 games for Carolina. Unfortunately, those outings weren't memorable, as Greer threw 4 interceptions, no touchdowns, and completed just 53.8% of his passes. Despite his rocky start in the NFL, Greer's college resume stands out. At West Virginia, he was an absolute star, throwing for over 7,000 yards and 71 touchdowns in just 2 seasons. Cowboys fans might remember his incredible final college game against Oklahoma, where he lit it up with 539 yards and 4 touchdowns. Let's be real, Cowboys fans, this move raises more questions than answers. With Week 18 around the corner, we still don't know who will start under center against Washington. Cooper Rush. The presumed frontrunner to start, Rush has played in over 52% of offensive snaps this season and is tantalizingly close to earning a $250,000 contract bonus if he hits the 55% mark. Could this financial incentive influence the decision? Trey Lance. The former first-round pick was seen by many as the future of Dallas's quarterback position when he arrived in a trade, but so far he's been mostly inactive, and Greer's promotion to the active roster only complicates his chances of seeing the field, except Will Greer. While his inclusion in the active roster might seem like a long shot for actual playing time, it could be a sign that the Cowboys are keeping their options open as they evaluate the roster heading into the offseason. Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy isn't giving much away either. When asked about the QB situation, McCarthy deflected, saying, "We're looking at this as a competition between football operations. We're going to stay the course." So, Cowboys fans, what's your take? Should the team give Lance a shot, let Rush close out the season, or even throw Greer into the mix for some surprise action? Let me know in the comments. The uncertainty in the QB room isn't the only story brewing in Dallas. After last week's devastating 41-7 loss to the Eagles, many are wondering if Mike McCarthy will still be the head coach in 2025. With a 7-9 record and no playoff hopes, the calls for McCarthy's dismissal are growing louder. Sure, the team showed flashes of promise during a mid-season stretch where they won 3 of 4 games. But performances like last week's have fans and analysts alike questioning whether this team still believes in its head coach. If the Cowboys decide to move on, timing could be a critical factor. The coaching carousel is already spinning, and some of the top candidates, like Brian Flores and Mike Vrabel, are already being courted by other teams. Waiting too long could leave Dallas scrambling for second-tier options. That said, firing McCarthy only makes sense if the Cowboys can secure someone who is a clear upgrade. Is Jerry Jones willing to gamble on landing the right candidate, or will the team stick with McCarthy, hoping he can turn things around? The Cowboys' Week 18 matchup against the Washington Commanders might not have playoff implications, but it's far from meaningless. Here's why you should tune in. 1. Player evaluations. This game will serve as an audition for several players fighting to remain on the roster in 2025. 2. Spoiler opportunity. A win against Washington could knock the Commanders down in the NFC standings, giving Cowboys fans a small measure of satisfaction. 3. QB drama. Who will start? Will we see Lance, Rush, or even Greer? The suspense alone makes this game intriguing. The Cowboys kick off at 1 p.m. ET on Sunday, live on Fox. As this season winds down, the Cowboys are already looking ahead to 2025. Major decisions await not just at quarterback and head coach, but across the roster. Key areas for improvement include offensive line. Injuries and inconsistency have plagued this unit all year. Depth and durability need to be a priority. Defensive secondary. The cornerback position has been a weak spot, and it's time to invest in upgrades. Wide receiver. Depth. Outside of CeeDee Lamb, the Cowboys need more reliable options in the passing game. Let's talk about the man of the moment, Micah Parsons. At just 24 years old, Parsons has already solidified himself as one of the most dominant defensive players in the NFL. He's a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks and a spark of hope for Cowboys fans yearning for a return to championship glory. This week, Parsons was selected to the Pro Bowl for the fourth time in just 4 seasons. Let that sink in, Cowboys Nation. 4 seasons, 4 Pro Bowls, and he's done it while battling through challenges that would derail many players. This season hasn't been easy for Parsons. He missed 4 games due to a high ankle injury, an injury that not only limited his availability, but also impacted his explosiveness on the field. Despite playing through discomfort in 12 games, Parsons still managed to rack up some jaw-dropping stats. 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 11 stuffs, tackles for no gain or a loss. While these numbers are impressive on their own, they're even more remarkable given the context of the Cowboys' up-and-down season. Sitting at 7-9, Dallas hasn't lived up to expectations, but Parsons' brilliance has been a consistent bright spot. Now here's the stat that has everyone talking. Micah Parsons is the first defensive player since Aaron Donald to earn Pro Bowl honors in each of his first 4 NFL seasons. Let's put that into perspective. Donald is a generational talent, widely regarded as one of the best defensive players in NFL history. For Parsons to be mentioned in the same breath as him speaks volumes about his impact on the game. And let's not forget, this is just the beginning. Parsons is on pace to not only be a Pro Bowler, but potentially a first-team All-Pro for the 3rd time in 4 seasons. For context, many Hall of Fame players didn't achieve that level of dominance so early in their careers. Cowboys fans, it's hard not to get excited about what Parsons has already accomplished and what lies ahead. In just 4 seasons, his resume includes Pro Bowl selections too, first-team All-Pro honors, with a 3rd likely this season, countless sacks, tackles for loss, and game-changing plays. Parsons is the type of player who can define an era for the Cowboys. He's already being compared to legends like DeMarcus Ware and Randy White, but what sets him apart is the sense of urgency he brings to the field. For all his individual accolades, Parsons knows that true greatness in Dallas is measured by one thing: Super Bowl victories. Cowboys fans have waited 28 long years to hoist the Lombardi Trophy again, and Parsons could be the key to breaking that drought. Here's what he needs to achieve that goal: health and durability. Staying on the field is critical. Parsons' high ankle injury this season was a reminder of how much the defense relies on him. Support from the offense. Parsons can't do it all. The offense needs to step up and provide consistent support to complement the defense's efforts. Playoff success. Regular season dominance is great, but Parsons will need to deliver in the postseason to cement his legacy. The Cowboys' bigger picture. While Parsons shines individually, his success also underscores the importance of building a complete team around him. This season has exposed some glaring weaknesses. Inconsistent offense. The team has struggled to sustain drives and put points on the board. Secondary concerns. Injuries and underwhelming performances in the defensive backfield have left the defense vulnerable. Coaching questions. With Mike McCarthy under fire, leadership changes could be on the horizon. If the Cowboys want to make the most of Parsons' prime years, they'll need to address these issues quickly. Let's keep the conversation going. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the Will Greer signing? Who should start at QB in Week 18? Is it time to move on from Mike McCarthy, or should Dallas give him another chance? Drop your opinions in the comments below, and let's hash it out as a community. Cowboys fans, it's been a tough ride this year, but brighter days are ahead. Whether it's through bold offseason moves, a strong draft, or even changes in leadership, one thing's for sure: this franchise is determined to get back on track. Thank you for watching today's breakdown. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Together, we'll keep riding through the highs and lows of Cowboys football. As always, go Cowboys!